Few ancient texts carry the weight and urgency, the sheer gravity of the moment that resonates from the pages of Deuteronomy. It stands as a monumental testament to a pivotal time in history. Of Deuteronomy, the fifth and final book of the Torah, it marks the culmination of the Pentateuch, offering a powerful summary and reaffirmation of God's covenant with Israel. It's not a new law, not a fresh set of commandments delivered from on high, but a passionate restatement of the covenant, a heartfelt reminder of the sacred agreement between Israel and God, forged in the fires of Sinai and etched into the very soul of the nation. It's a bond that defines them. A final, poignant address from Moses, their aging leader, to a new generation, one that did not witness the Exodus firsthand. They stand on the edge of the promised land, poised to inherit the blessings promised to their ancestors. The old generation, the generation of doubt and disobedience, has perished in the wilderness, their journey complete. Now, those born in the wilderness, raised on stories of liberation and divine provision, stand ready to claim their inheritance, to finally enter the land flowing with milk and honey. Deuteronomy is their preparation. It is the final set of instructions, the last chance to ensure they understand what is expected of them. A spiritual and legal charter for life in Canaan, a blueprint for building a just and righteous society in the land God is giving them. The book unfolds as three powerful speeches by Moses, each building upon the last, each designed to resonate deep within their hearts. Part history, a recounting of God's faithfulness and Israel's failures. Part law, a reiteration of the commandments and statutes that will govern their lives. Part prophecy, a glimpse into the future, both the blessings of obedience and the curses of disobedience. Moses, at 120 years old, his eyes undimmed and his strength not yet diminished, looks back on their journey through the wilderness, a journey marked by both miracles and rebellion. Weaving together memory, warning, and hope, he paints a vivid picture of what it means to be God's people. He reminds them of their origins in Egypt, their miraculous deliverance from slavery, clarifies their responsibilities to God and to one another, emphasizing justice, compassion, and love, and warns of the consequences of their choices, the blessings of obedience, and the devastating effects of turning away from God. Deuteronomy bridges the past and the future, connecting the experiences of the wilderness with the challenges and opportunities that await them in the Promised Land. Linking Sinai's revelation to the new life ahead, it provides a framework for living in covenant relationship with God in their new home. It's a call to remember all that God has done for them, to hold fast to their identity as God's chosen people, set apart for a special purpose, and to choose faithfulness, to choose life, for blessing in the land that they are about to inherit. The words are heavy with history, resonant with the echoes of generations past, yet alive with hope, brimming with the promise of a future filled with God's blessings. This is Moses' final impassioned plea, his last will and testament to the nation he has led for 40 years. To a nation about to step into its destiny, to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, and to become a light to the nations. The voice of Deuteronomy is Moses, a leader who has walked with God and guided his people through trials and triumphs. He is aged, his hands bearing the marks of years spent in service. He is tested, his spirit forged in the crucible of the desert. And he is standing at the threshold of promise, a land he will not enter, yet a future he has shaped. He led Israel from Egypt, breaking the chains of slavery and leading them towards freedom. He spoke with God on Mount Sinai, receiving the law and the covenant that would define their nation. And now, he is forbidden to enter Canaan, his journey ending just short of the destination. He can only look upon the land, knowing his work is nearly complete. He delivers his final words, a testament to his life, his faith, and his unwavering commitment to God's people. The Israelites are poised between wilderness and promise, a generation on the cusp of a new beginning. They are holding their breath, anticipating the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in this new land. Moses' speeches are more than instruction. They are a heartfelt plea, a passionate exhortation. They're a father's last appeal to his children, a legacy of wisdom and guidance passed down through generations. He urges them to remember, to never forget the journey that has brought them to this moment. He reminds them of the bitterness of slavery, the oppression and suffering they endured in Egypt. He recounts the wonder of liberation, the miraculous deliverance that set them free from bondage. And he emphasizes the lessons of the past, the consequences of disobedience and the blessings of faithfulness. The covenant is renewed, a sacred agreement between God and his people. It's a commitment made not just for those present, but for every generation to come, binding them together in faith and purpose. Moses knows memory fades, that the stories of the past can be easily forgotten. And he warns against adopting the customs of surrounding nations, the allure of false gods and empty promises. He calls them to build their future, to establish a society founded on justice, righteousness and love. He urges them to build it on shared memory and unwavering loyalty to God, the foundation of their identity and their hope. The parents of Sinai are gone, the generation that witnessed God's power and entered into covenant with him. Now their children must choose faithfulness for themselves, embracing the legacy of their ancestors and forging their own path of obedience. Moses stands as intermediary, the bridge between the old generation and the new. He is making clear that their future, their prosperity and their very survival depends on their commitment to the covenant. It's a call to conscious, deliberate faithfulness, a choice to embrace God's law and live according to his will. Moses recounts Israel's journey from Sinai to Moab, not as a travelogue, but as a lesson. He recalls the rebellion at Kadesh Barnea, when fear led to 40 years of wandering. Only Joshua and Caleb trusted God. The rest perished for their lack of faith. The wilderness becomes a symbol of the cost of disobedience. Yet even in judgment, God sustained them. Their clothes didn't wear out, their feet didn't swell. Victories over hostile kings and daily provision showed God's care. Moses wants the new generation to learn trust and obedience are the keys to the promise. The past is their curriculum, rebellion and rescue, failure and faithfulness. Remembering both is essential for their future. The wilderness is a warning and a testament to God's enduring presence. At the very heart of Deuteronomy lies the Shema, a powerful declaration of faith that has resonated through the ages. It's more than just a statement. It's a cornerstone of Israel's belief system. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This simple yet profound sentence encapsulates the essence of monotheism. It's a call to attention, an invitation to listen deeply to the truth of God's singular existence. This radical monotheism, the belief in one God and one God alone, definitively sets Israel apart from the surrounding nations and their polytheistic beliefs. It establishes a unique relationship between God and his chosen people. It's a calling for total love, a love that encompasses heart, soul and might. This love isn't passive, it demands active engagement and complete devotion. Faith, therefore, is not merely ritualistic, a series of empty actions performed without understanding or intent. Instead, it is a deep, all-encompassing commitment that permeates every aspect of life, shaping thoughts, actions, and relationships. Moses commands that these words be diligently taught to children, ensuring that the Shema becomes ingrained in their hearts and minds from a young age. These words are to be spoken daily, a constant reminder of God's presence and his commandments. They must be woven into every aspect of life, influencing decisions, shaping interactions, and guiding behavior. The law, in this context, is not a burden, a set of oppressive rules designed to restrict freedom. Rather, it is a blueprint, a divine guide for building a just and compassionate society where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. It covers every aspect of life, from worship and religious observances to the administration of justice and the upholding of fairness, and extends to the crucial responsibility of caring for the vulnerable members of society, ensuring that no one is left behind. The Ten Commandments and the multitude of other laws found within Deuteronomy are not arbitrary rules, but practical expressions, tangible ways of demonstrating love for God and love for neighbor in concrete, meaningful ways. The law, therefore, is a gift, a precious and invaluable gift, guiding Israel to live in a way that brings life, prosperity, and flourishing to all. Devotion to God must be visible in every action, a constant and unwavering commitment. It must be constant, a daily practice, and ultimately transformative, shaping individuals and communities into reflections of God's own character. This profound understanding of God's love and law is the very foundation upon which Israel's identity and ethics are built. And Moses leads the people in renewing the covenant, a pact binding not just those present but all future generations. The covenant demands exclusive loyalty, no idols, no divided allegiance. Idolatry is portrayed as betrayal, threatening the very relationship that defines Israel. God promises land and blessing. Israel's part is obedience and faithfulness. The covenant is about more than rules. It's about a transformed heart, a circumcised spirit open to God. True obedience is internal, not just external. Holiness means being set apart in worship, ethics and community. National success is tied to faithfulness. The covenant must be written on their hearts, not just on stone. Moses sets before Israel two paths, life and blessing, or death and curse. Obedience brings prosperity, security and divine favor. Disobedience brings drought, defeat and exile. The choice is real and urgent. Their actions will shape their destiny. Blessings are vivid, fruitful land, thriving families, victory over enemies. Curses are stark famine, loss and ultimately exile from the land. The ceremony of blessings and curses is to be enacted on Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal, making the choice unforgettable. By speaking these words, the people accept the covenant's terms and consequences. Moses' final appeal, choose life, that you and your offspring may live. The future is in their hands. The stakes could not be higher. As Moses' life nears its end, he addresses the transition of leadership. At 120, he cannot lead them into Canaan. God has chosen Joshua as his successor. Joshua, faithful and courageous, is publicly commissioned by Moses. The transfer of authority is a divine appointment, not a political move. Moses charges Joshua and all Israel to be strong and courageous, trusting God's presence. The Lord your God goes before you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Leadership changes, but God's commitment remains. This orderly transition ensures stability and unity for the nation. Joshua is empowered to continue Moses' mission. The people are assured their future is secure in God's hands. The nation is ready to move forward with confidence. Before his death, Moses is commanded to teach Israel a song, a prophetic warning and a witness for future generations. The Song of Moses recounts God's care, Israel's coming unfaithfulness, and the consequences of turning away. It's a sobering reminder prosperity can breed complacency and idolatry. Yet the song ends with hope, God's compassion and promise of restoration. Moses' final act is to ascend Mount Nebo, where he views the promised land he will never enter. There, in sight of his life's goal, Moses dies and is buried by God. His life ends in humility, but his legacy endures. The song encapsulates Israel's journey, blessing, rebellion, judgment, and redemption. Moses' story closes, but the nation's story continues. Moses' death marks the beginning of his enduring legacy. Deuteronomy becomes Israel's foundational text, guiding kings, inspiring prophets, and shaping reformers. Its themes of covenant, law, and choice echo through Jewish and Christian history. The Shema remains Judaism's central creed. Its call to justice and memory shapes Jewish life. For Christians, Deuteronomy is a key source, quoted by Jesus and foundational to the New Testament. Its call to remember, to live justly, and to choose life is timeless. Deuteronomy explores the human condition and the consequences of our choices. Its wisdom invites every generation to engage, remember, and choose the path of life.